This is the third in the series of videos addressing how to fix Trump's ballroom. There likely is no way to stop him through the courts, which leaves Congress to fix it at a later date, but there needs to have a process in order to provide Congress a plan. Trump is building a monument to himself on White House property, because he knows history won't build him one anywhere. He knows people will refer to it as the Trump Ballroom. Once Trump is out of office, has become mentally incompetent and maybe even dead, it will be like after Stalin died. The threat of retribution by him will be gone and complaints against him will gush out, and it will be a different era. People complain about it, but complaining does nothing if there isn't a plan toward a solution. Many have expressed the desire to tear it down after he leaves, but the problems it generates can be mitigated with reformatting. Showing a bit of cleverness in fixing his mess will be more of a statement than an authoritarian unilaterally creating the ballroom and implying that he has made a statement too big to fix. You want to force something on everyone, but you don't control the future. This video addresses some reformatting choices to fix it, a mechanism to generate solutions and promote a fix, funding for the reformatting of Trump's monument, addressing the mega parties, dealing with resistance of the extorted. In a previous video, I suggested jacking down the structure to reduce its dwarfing of the White House. Then it was brought out there as a bunker complex under it. Since then, Trump has substantially increased the proposed size of the ballroom. In that video, moving large masonry structures, as done with a lighthouse and a hotel, was discussed, which would be applicable to reformatting. Another alternative to jacking down the structure would be to take the ballroom off the First Lady's east wing, divide the ballroom into 3 pieces, and place them to the north, west and south sides of the Treasury building. The floor below the ballroom, consisting of the First Lady's facilities, likely should be kept and have a skylight over the central hallway. The ballroom structure itself might be moved and reformatted, removing the massive steps, height and restoring symmetry to the White House complex. The large steps on those sides of Treasury are largely for show, and most activity goes through the east side of the building. The large formal steps consume too much space for their little use. Maybe the 3 pieces can each be designated as executive, legislative and judicial, each for that branch's use, and to imply the government isn't one person. The White House can still use these for the less mega-sized events, and the convertible furniture I suggested in the second video would make it possible for them to be used for offices when not used as ballrooms. But what I proposed may not be the best solution, and I address that next. One way to generate solutions and help drive interest in this process is for a wealthy person to provide prizes for a contest for architecture students and others to develop plans to fix Trump's ballroom. Providing something that isn't crass is more symmetrical and useful for things other than just parties. Because there is a knee-jerk outcry to demolish Trump's monument to himself, there is a need to provide more thought-out alternatives. The public may even vote on the various proposals. This democratizes the process and drives interest as people solicit votes for their plan. Perhaps 3 prizes may be given. That would not only promote the idea that we aren't stuck with what he did, but provide several concepts which can be considered for architectural review before the final plan is selected by the actual decision-makers. Unlike Trump, Congress or the entity Congress designates will likely solicit comments, proposals and hold hearings, but this will likely speed up the process and generate better alternatives. Think about a contest going on how to fix it at the same time Trump is building it. Trump will lash out, thus generating more interest in the project to fix it. Trump obtained the money for his ballroom by leaning on governmental contractors, those dealing with antitrust problems and those trying to avoid regulation. A reformatting program can't rely on Trump's extortion model, but there are other wealthy people who don't like what Trump is doing who would be interested. Further, there is also another great resource. Considering the outrage on the internet over what he is doing, a tremendous number of smaller contributions should be able to be obtained on it. Online fundraising is hugely successful. A few major contributors with a large number of matching smaller internet contributions should work. Trump complained about using tents to accommodate people for his huge events, and restricting the number of guests meant some people couldn't be invited and they would be upset. It is so politically enticing to hand out invites to galas at the White House in order to reward and influence people. The swamp isn't going to be drained, a party place is going to be built for it. Maybe the whole concept of holding mega events should be reviewed. There needs to be a governmental Partying Abuse Act limiting events to no more than 300 people once a month, no matter who is paying for it. Smaller events can be held at other times. In addition to the probable resistance of the swamp creatures, the companies and people from whom Trump extorted the money to build his monument likely want their name on it and the structure preserved. While commentators complain about contributors' names going on plaques at the White House, something may have to be allowed in order to reduce their resistance and allow their names to be placed on plaques with a message on the various sections, if broken up. They should be featured not as bribers, but as victims of something which is in the process of being corrected, since Trump was the one who cooked up this idea and forced it on them. A parallel program can be run while Trump goes through his Ballroom project, indicating there is a future and public input and review can still occur.